In the shadowy depths of Bletchley Park, a top-secret battle was being fought. Not with guns and tanks, but with intellect and intuition. A team of codebreakers, unseen and unsung, were engaged in a race against time, deciphering messages that could mean the difference between victory and defeat. They were led by a brilliant mathematician named Alan Turing, a man whose name would become synonymous with genius. But for decades, their story remained a secret, buried under layers of government secrecy and the passage of time. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and reveal the fascinating tale of these secret warriors, who played a pivotal role in winning the war, but whose contributions were kept hidden from the world for years. This is the incredible story of the Hittites and why no one talks about them. Imagine a world where every conversation, every military operation, and every government decision was made under the shadow of secrecy, where the smallest slip of a word could mean the difference between victory and defeat. That was the world that these secret warriors inhabited. Their job was to break the codes that the enemy was using to communicate, to read the messages that could literally mean the difference between life and death. It was a daunting task, but they were up to the challenge. At the heart of this secretive operation was a machine called Enigma. This seemingly innocuous device was a German invention that had taken Europe by storm. During the early years of World War II, its ability to encrypt messages so quickly and efficiently was nothing short of astonishing. In fact, the Enigma machine was so advanced that it could generate billions of different combinations every day, making it virtually impossible to crack. For the Allies, this meant that they were effectively fighting blind, unable to decipher the enemy's plans and movements. It was a frustrating situation to be in, but it was also dangerous. Unable to anticipate the enemy's moves, the Allies were vulnerable to surprise attacks and ambushes. It was like trying to fight an opponent who had a crystal ball, always knowing what you were going to do before you did it. But the Allies weren't about to give up. They knew that they needed to find a way to break the Enigma code if they were going to win the war. And so they turned to some of the brightest minds of the time, including the legendary Alan Turing. Now let's talk about the brilliant mind behind the scenes, Alan Matheson Turing. Born in London in 1912, Turing was a child prodigy who showed an early aptitude for mathematics and engineering. His brilliance was evident from an early age, and he went on to study at the prestigious King's College, Cambridge. There he developed a reputation as a gifted mathematician and logician. But it was during World War II that Turing truly came into his own. When the war broke out, Turing was recruited by the British government to help break the Enigma code. At first, it seemed like an impossible task. The Enigma machine was too complex, generating millions of potential code settings every day. But Turing was not daunted. He assembled a team of brilliant minds at Bletchley Park, a country estate in Buckinghamshire. Here, in a world away from the noise and chaos of the war, Turing and his team worked tirelessly to break the Enigma code. What made Turing so special was his ability to think outside the box. He was a true innovator who was not afraid to experiment with new ideas. For example, he developed a machine called the bomb that could test thousands of Enigma settings in minutes. This was a breakthrough because it meant that the process of breaking the Enigma code went from taking weeks to taking seconds. With the help of the bomb, Turing and his team were able to read German messages almost instantly, giving the Allies a valuable advantage. So how did they do it? Breaking the Enigma code was no easy feat. It required a deep understanding of mathematics, engineering, and logic. Turing and his team worked tirelessly to develop new methods and techniques for cracking the code. They faced countless setbacks and dead ends, but they never gave up. One of their most important breakthroughs came when they realized that the Enigma machine had a weakness. Although it was incredibly complex, it still relied on basic principles of mathematics. By exploiting these weaknesses, Turing and his team were able to develop algorithms that could break the code in minutes. It was a stunning achievement that has since become a thing of legend. Now let's talk about the impact of their work. The impact of Turing's work was nothing short of astounding. His ability to break the Enigma code gave the Allies a crucial advantage over the Axis powers. In fact, historians estimate that Turing's work shortened the war by as much as 2 years, saving countless lives in the process. But the impact of his work went far beyond the war. His development of the bomb is considered to be one of the earliest examples of a computer. In fact, many people consider him to be the father of modern computing. His contributions to mathematics, engineering, and logic are still studied and celebrated today. But despite all of these accomplishments, Turing's legacy is a controversial one. After the war, he was prosecuted for homosexuality, which was illegal at the time. He was forced to undergo chemical castration and died in 1954 at the age of 61. Despite the tragic end to his story, Turing's contributions to science and society are undeniable. He was a true genius who changed the course of history. Though he may have died before the world understood the extent of his contributions, his legacy lives on today. So why doesn't anyone talk about him? Now you might be wondering why such a significant event and group of people were kept secret for so long. Well, there are a few reasons. First and foremost, the British government wanted to keep the enemy from figuring out that their codes were being broken. If the Germans had known that their messages were being intercepted and deciphered, they would have changed their methods of communication and the entire operation would have been compromised. Additionally, the government wanted to avoid giving away state secrets to the public. In the Cold War era, this meant that any mention of code-breaking activities was classified and only a select few were allowed to know the truth. Finally, there was a lot of embarrassment involved. Many of the people who worked on breaking the codes were not celebrated as heroes, but rather seen as traitors by their own government. They were punished, harassed, and even blackmailed into silence. As a result, many of them lived their lives in obscurity, and their contributions were forgotten. Fortunately, in recent years, there has been a renewed interest in the history of code breaking and the men and women who made it possible. Historians and researchers have uncovered countless documents that shed new light on this top secret operation. And as more and more information becomes available, we are gaining a deeper appreciation for the bravery and brilliance of the secret warriors who fought in the shadows to protect our world. If you ever get a chance to visit Bletchley Park, I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful place and the staff are really knowledgeable and passionate about what they do. You can see the actual machines that were used to break the codes and learn about the people who work there. It has a humbling experience that will make you appreciate the sacrifices that were made to keep our world safe. Can you imagine a world without computers or the internet? Without Turing, that might have been our reality. His contributions to science and society are undeniable. So next time you sit down at your computer or log onto the internet, take a moment to remember the brilliant mind that made it all possible. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to check out other videos on the channel. We've got lots of videos about famous historical events and influential people. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos.